Peace and bright blessings, guys. I wanted to talk with you guys today about an update on my return to sender work. Okay, so basically, there was the update that I gave before, but some other stuff has transpired. Okay, and it was so ridiculously obvious why these different things were happening to the point where I couldn't resist, giving you guys an update on that because I did want to update on a return to sender, but like I said, more stuff has happened since then. So there's this one person that I did a return to sender on. Literally within like 1 week, that person, the tires blew out one day. Then another day, what was it? What happened? Something happened with the tires one day. Then another day, somebody rammed into them and just hit and ran. Didn't stop, didn't slow down. Um, Hit the back of this person and hit their light out. So their car was just kind of like, they were able to still move it after the person had hit them. And basically, what they ended up doing was following the person and getting, a picture of their tag or license plate. Um, then, oh, then this person went to go handle some business and they couldn't get to where they had to go because their tires went out. So um it was like a triple effect for them. So when they did finally get where they got going, they were supposed to, and this is um somebody that I'm familiar with, but basically what happened was they went to go do a job, and the people at the place were like, "We're not paying you because you were late." Police were called. It was a big altercation, a big to do. And I was just like, wow. Um, then this other person, basically, their whole water system in their home, and not just in their home, but in like general in the whole, housing complex. Basically, their water system went completely haywire. It went out. Um, all toilets and things stopped working. Um, it just was crazy. Like maintenance was on deck trying to, help everybody out. It was just a crazy situation. Um, then and the crazy thing is I'm always like I always have a front row seat to these things. Like the universe wants me to see that, I did have success in what, I initially asked for assistance in. So it's just crazy. Um, what else happened? Somebody divorced. Um, Somebody's been experiencing lots of bad luck. Nothing's going right with for them. Um, Today, okay, so I mentioned in my very like a couple of videos ago, I mentioned that um, basically today was a very hectic day. And I'm about to tell y'all why it was a very hectic day. So, okay, one of my sons went on a trip with, some family. This son is, spending some time with his girlfriend. We're in the house, and I'm just thinking like this is going to be a chill day. I'm gonna make my videos, things like that. And I'm gonna just get to work with some of the things that I've been, putting off doing and try to get them done today, right? And all of a sudden, well, all of a sudden, as I'm in the midst of, getting into these things that I have to do, this like very loud screeching alarm started going off. So I sat there for a minute, like, what the hell? Um, initially I thought that maybe my son was cooking something, my oldest son. Maybe he was cooking something, and so that's why the alarm was going off. Maybe the stove got too hot, maybe he didn't have on the stove fan, whatever the case may be. And I come out my room and I'm looking around. I don't see no smoke in my house. Um, but that alarm is still going off real loud, real strong, real powerful. And I'm like, okay, there's no smoke in here. So where the hell is the alarm coming from? So I come out of my room and I decide to go to my front door and open it up. And it was like a bunch of people just kind of standing out there. And then there were some people like racing from their apartments, outside. There were some people like scrambling to, get other family members outside, right? And I'm watching this, and then I see a familiar face, and I'm like, hey, is everything okay? What's going on here? So the person is like, well, what happened was there's a neighbor upstairs who, an elderly lady who lives with her elderly mother. And, what happened was, I think that the laundry unit, um, she was washing clothes and it started sparking and caught on fire and started producing lots of smoke. Um, and it was just a crazy experience. So we heard sirens, firemen were outside. I immediately called to my oldest son and I was like, go get dressed immediately. Go put on just throw on anything. I immediately threw on something, and I still had my bonnet on. Like, um, so we got on our clothes. We had a bag, or two, with a couple of waters or whatever personal things in there, just in case we had to walk, to like a nearby store or something. I didn't know what was going to happen. Um, but we got out of the apartment as quickly as possible, and we went outside with everyone else. And by then, the firemen were telling people that they needed to come out of their apartments and come outside. Um, so we came outside, and I'm trying to reach my husband, call him, and eventually he picks up because he was doing something. He had a couple of stops, a couple of runs to make, and I had to tell him, listen, this whole building that we're in is on fire. Like, I need you to come immediately. So he was like, what? He was like, I'm on the way. So me and my son and all the other people were standing outside, and the firemen, they're doing their just due, and you know um, going up, with a hose and different things like that. And it was two fire trucks out there. And, everybody in my building was outside, and management came out there too, maintenance men, everybody. And so we stood there waiting, for the firemen to say if it was safe to go in or not. Um, so at some point, um, the familiar person out here that I initially asked, like, what's going on? She was saying the lady the elderly lady lives in an apartment over top um, of this heifer that lives across the hall from me. And I unapologetically will refer to her as such because she just gets on my nerves. It's just, she's irritating. Like, she does weird things. Like, she'll pull people's children to the side and question them and ask them, like, what's your name? What school do you go to? Where do your parents live? What's your parents' name? How old are you? What's your name? Like, you asking a few too many damn questions. Like, those are personal questions, you know. And the problem and issue came in for me when my children, my boys would go out, to go to the dump to throw away the trash, um, or they'd go outside to play. And I would come out there or I'd, come to the door and hear her, you know, giving them that same line of questioning. You know, this older Caucasian lady. And she was asking him, like, what's your name? How old are you? Did you know that there's a food truck that comes out here? My children are teenagers. They don't care about no damn food truck. Like, if you're going to talk to anybody about things like that, it should be me because I'm an adult and I'm their mother. Like, certain conversations I felt was like sus. Um, then, like, with my husband, like, he would come home from work and it's like she started watching and clocking like when he was going to be coming home from work. So she would be like waiting outside for him. And, she'd wait for him patiently, to get out of the car with his things. And she would start talking to him. And then she'd end up like, walking with him to her apartment, which is across the hall, walking with him and talking with him. Now, on face value, I'm like, okay, it's harmless. It's just a neighbor, speaking, just being neighborly, just being friendly, right? So one day, me, my husband, and my boys, my sons, we went somewhere. And when we came back home, my sons were walking in front of us, and my husband and I were holding hands. And she, at that moment, was coming from her apartment. And when she came out of her apartment door, she didn't look at me or my sons. She looked at my husband and said, hello, how are you? So I'm like, okay. I was like, she trying to be funny? Okay. At some point, this woman would never speak to me. She would never say anything to me. I could be staring her dead in her face. We could both be outside at the same time. She would not say a word to me, just to my husband and my sons. So one day I approached her on it and I was like, um, what is your issue? Um, do you have a problem with me or something? Why is it that every time I come outside, it's crickets? You know, I don't hear anything from you. You don't say hi. You don't ask me how I'm doing. But you always willing and ready to ask my husband. You know what time he get off work. You done got that thing clocked and down, down packed. Um, and it was just eerily crazy. And she's like, well, no, I'm just, I didn't even know that you stayed here. I've been here like 5 or 6 years, y'all. Like, how you not know that I stay in the apartment close to you and you see me come out this apartment all the time? It just baffled me. And so when I did divination on the situation, I saw that she was trying to be sneaky. I saw that she was trying to um, be deceptive. And, she had her own little, course of intentions and actions that she was putting out there. I guess she was hoping that, maybe my husband would be attracted to her. But my husband's not attracted to her. Um, you know? So, I mean, hello, he married me. So, if he wanted to actually look at other people, like they would probably look similar to me, because he's very attracted to me. But at the same time, even if it was an issue of attraction, like then that would be one thing. But with somebody making it plain that they're not attracted and like constantly trying to avoid you because you always waiting up for them, like that should tell you that person's not interested. And she went through this huge ordeal and spill about how she wasn't attracted to him, how she thought my husband was a single father, with these two boys. She didn't know that I lived there. And she's only seen me like once. This woman has seen me come out of this apartment several times and has not, like literally and intentionally, has not said a thing to me. So at some point, like I said, I did divination and I found out she was being deceptive and sneaky. And so I decided to return her energy onto her as well. I added in a couple of other things as well. But the main primary thing was the return to sender. So the funny thing about today was when everybody's outside and this fire is going, when me and my son actually walked outside, we were advised by the firemen to cross across the parking lot along with everyone else. And while we were looking up the stairs at the apartment upstairs, there was like heavy smoke coming from it. We found out, you know, that as we were standing out there, that the apartment with the older lady and her mother is right over the neighbor's apartment across the hall. And just as there was a fire and there was smoke and there was water damage to the elderly lady upstairs apartment, there was water damage to the neighbor across the hall's apartment as well. And she ended up having to move out today and go somewhere else temporarily until they could, you know, either give her another apartment or fix up the one that she has. But the crazy thing is, I put my intentions into the work. Like, I want her to move. I want her either to move or to stay to herself before I end up hurting this lady because she playing with the wrong one. It's one thing to speak and be cordial and be friendly and neighborly. It's a whole nother thing to act funny towards me. You don't have no reason to act funny towards me. You got smiles and frills and conversation for everybody else in my household, but you don't have nothing for me. And it's not like I was even wanting or expecting or needing conversation from her. It's just the principle of it all. If you're going to speak to people, speak to everybody. Otherwise, you may run into a witch bitch like myself that will fuck you up on sight just for, your intentions and your actions. First of all, I'm a sensitive, so I'm very easily able to pick up on energy, and I could sense that she was, playing games then. But I did divination to give her the benefit of the doubt, and Spirit said, "No, she playing games. You got it right." And so that's crazy that today that happened to her after me doing the return to sender. Not only does that once again prove that um, my spell work is potent and it worked and it was successful, but that's a win for me as well. So I was joking with my husband earlier because I was laughing about the not the fact that she has water damage, but the fact that my intention was for her to leave here, and that's exactly what she has to do. Even though it's temporary, that's what she has to do. It's a level of inconvenience, and I'm sure Spirit's not done with her yet. But I was joking with my husband because we had watched this movie, and it was like the Godfather of Harlem, and in that movie, one of the Italian guys came to visit the Godfather of Harlem, and he um, he was like he acted like he was coming for one thing, but he really came to tell him, like, you think you so slick, like you think you so smart. Let me show you how it's me above you, like at all times. Like you think you're winning, you think you're so slick, you think you're so smart, but it's me above you at all times. So it was just funny because that came up in our conversation. And I was like, yeah, she thought that, she was being slick and she thought that she was just, going to do whatever the heck she wanted to do. And, her having to leave her apartment is me above her. So we was like laughing at that because it was funny. But that's all I have for you today, guys. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want notifications on all of my content. And if you have tried my recipe for return to sender, let me know in the comment section how it worked out for you, or if you have any questions about my results, or my spell work and how I do it, or you want to get a reading done, or you want to get some spell work done yourself for a problem or a situation that you're experiencing in this lifetime, definitely feel free to email me. It will be below in the description box. And I look forward to speaking with you guys again soon. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and let me know what you think down below. Peace and bright blessings, guys.